Welcome to the Toilet Paper Salesman Podcast. This is a really special episode because it marks our 1-year anniversary as a podcast. Last year, on July 3rd, I decided that I was going to release my podcast on that date because it was before the 4th of July, and I felt like it would be a good opportunity for someone, if they wanted to listen to it over the weekend, they would have that chance. So I released it on July 3rd, my first podcast. I was talking to my brother and sister-in-law. I let them know that my first podcast episode was out. And my sister-in-law said to me, "Do you know it's your pop's birthday on July 3rd? And honestly, it didn't dawn on me. I guess that's not good, but on the other hand, it was amazing that I had released my first podcast episode on my pop's birthday. And this, my 1-year anniversary podcast episode, is being dedicated to my pop, Frank J. Mirarchi, who would actually be 99 years old on this date. He was born July 3rd, 1926. What we're going to talk about today is selflessness, because selflessness is what defined my pop. You know, my pop, part of the greatest generation. Well, what made the greatest generation is the fact that it was a selflessness that these men and women had. The society back then, they gave their shirts off their back for each other because, frankly, it was hard and going through the Depression, and they didn't have a lot. So they were the type of people that were truly selfless. So today, we're going to talk about selflessness. What is selflessness anyway? What is it? And it simply just means that you're putting others before yourself. It's a mindset. It's a way to live. When you see a neighbor in need, when you see somebody who happens to need something, you just help them. Unfortunately, today, you don't see a lot of it happening. And when you do see it happen, it's kind of like this big deal. How does selflessness work? How do you go about being selfless? It is that you're looking for opportunities to help. You're kind of tuned in your radio to see where an opportunity presents itself, and you just step in and help. I'll give you an example. I was in Springfield, Massachusetts, and I needed to get gas for my car. So I pull into the gas station, and I'm filling up my car, and I noticed that there was a gentleman right next to me on the other gas pump, and he was filling his truck. And so when I went up to pay, he was right in front of me, and he went to charge his gas and didn't have the money. His card didn't go through. And so he was going to go back to his truck and get another credit card. And so I stepped in and I simply said, "Do you want me to pay for your gas?" And he was like, No, you don't have to do that. And I was like, "No, I want to pay for your gas. How much is it?" And he said, "I need $30. So I happened to have $10 bills that day. For some reason, I usually, when I get cash out of the ATM, I get $20 bills. But whatever reason, I had $10 bills. I gave him $30. And he was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe you did that." And it was great. So then I turn around and there's a guy behind me and he said, "I need money for food." He was homeless. So I gave him $10. And then I turned back around. I was in line to get a bottle of water. And the lady who was the attendant saw everything that just happened and said, "What do you need?" And I said, "I'd love to have a bottle of water." And she goes, "Well, based on everything that I just saw, I guess I should just give it to you." And so she gave me the bottle of water. Now, I'm not telling you any of that to brag. I'm not telling you any of that to say that I'm great or anything like that. I'm using it as an example of selflessness, of how it works. I'm in that situation. I'm at the gas station. The guy doesn't have the money. I could see he's struggling. You know what was the best part about it is when I went back to my car, he obviously told his girlfriend that I paid for the gas, and you just saw the look on her face of joy that, oh my gosh, we got the gas paid for and now we can do what we were going to do during the day. It just made their day that somebody gave them $30 to pay for their gas. And so sometimes it's just a little thing. It's not a lot. Selflessness is a way of life. It's just the way you live. And like I said, you're just looking for opportunities to help people. That's all it is. The one thing that really bothers me, though, and I must tell you, because if you decide that you want to become more selfless, don't tell anybody that you do it. Just do stuff. Just help people. You don't have to broadcast it. The thing that bothers me the most is somebody does something and then they'll put it on LinkedIn or they'll put it on something else. It's like, oh, look at me, I helped somebody. And it's like, okay, I understand why you might want to do that because you're telling others, whatever, you make them feel good. But what makes you feel best is when you don't tell somebody and it becomes a lifestyle. Then when you go out to a store, anywhere, you're always looking for the opportunity to help somebody else out. That's truly what selflessness is. When I talk about my pop in particular and my mom, they helped everybody. I mean, they literally gave the shirts off their back. Somebody needed a place to stay, they let them stay. Somebody needed money, they gave them money. They had a flat tire, my pop would go over and fix it. If they needed their lawn mowed, he'd make it happen. No matter what was needed, no matter what was called for, he was there to help. And my mom was the same exact way. It was just a lifestyle. It was the way they lived. It was who they are. Selflessness. Selflessness is the key. Not only that, the joy and satisfaction you get from helping others. When you go and volunteer, if you've ever gone somewhere and volunteered, how good you feel when you're volunteering. You have a big smile on your face usually. It makes you happy and joyful. It really gives your life meaning when you help others. That's what this episode is dedicated towards, is how can we help others get success? And what is success for them? How can we help others live their lives? How can we help others gain joy? There's so much hardship going on today. There's so many things in society that are difficult. There's people who can't find jobs, etc. How can we help them to be happier? How can we help them to be more successful? How can we help them to just have a better day? You can either make somebody's day or break somebody's day, depending on how you act towards them, depending how you deal with them. And here's the other thing. Sometimes when you do things, it's not appreciated. It does happen. And this is some stories in my book. I was checking into a hotel and I had a king-size bed. And when I checked in, there was a lady aside of me complaining that she didn't have a king-size room. And so I'm standing in front of the person who's checking me in, and I said, she can have my room if she wants. No problem. And so they're like, really? And I'm like, yeah, I don't need a king-size bed. If it's going to make her happy, let her have the king-size bed. They did, and they told her that I had given her my room. Well, she barely gave me a thank you. And then she proceeded to complain that the price of the room was too expensive. And so sometimes, even though you help someone, even though you reach out to them and give them a hand, sometimes they don't appreciate it. And you know what? That's okay. Because what happened was everybody behind the counter saw the difference between the person who was selfless and the person who was selfish. It was such a contrast for them that they could see the difference. As you live your life day by day, live your life selflessly. Look for opportunities to help people. Look for opportunities to give them a hand. Look for opportunities just to make their day brighter, whether it's a smile, whether you actually give them money, whether you help change their flat tire, whatever it is. Look for opportunities to be selfless, because if you do, not only will your life be better, but the world will be better. It will be a better place. Just imagine if everyone lived selflessly. It would be an amazing place where we live. And those who are selfless are the ones who make the world better. It's amazing that I was able to be raised by my father and my mother who were selfless and were able to teach me this. It's amazing that I'm given these opportunities to help and to be selfless. And that's it. That's what I have for today. So I'm honored and grateful for everybody who listened to the podcast, who have made positive comments to me. I'm grateful for those who've expressed their appreciation for it. And I'm grateful truly to God that I'm able to do this. So that's all I have for today. Who says selling toilet paper isn't glamorous? Thanks a lot and have a great day.